Breaking news in a CBS Sports HQ, the Colts have given Jonathan Taylor, star running back, permission to seek a trade. Our lead NFL insider Jonathan Jones confirms Taylor initially requested a trade earlier this offseason before team owner Jim Irsay said publicly that Taylor will not be traded. The team has now reversed course and Taylor is on the market. CBS lead NFL insider Jonathan Jones in with the latest. JJ, I know you were in Indy on your tour of all camps last week. Taylor had been back with the team but was away for a personal matter on that specific day. What's the latest and what can you tell us about what may have transpired over the weekend?
You know, Joe, when I was there and asking about Jonathan Taylor with sources on and off the record, what became very, very clear to me was that only folks were going to answer with the canned answer, that no one wanted to upset whatever it was that was going on. Maybe there were some loose lips there at the beginning of training camp on both or all sides, but at this point in camp, as they wrapped up joint practices with the Bears last week before their second exhibition, everyone was saying the company line. Well, now we see that the Colts have allowed Jonathan Taylor and his representation to seek a potential trade partner. That's interesting and unique because that doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, well, the Colts are now going to trade Jonathan Taylor. Look, we saw this a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, with the Los Angeles Chargers and Austin Eckler. Hey, you think you're going to make some more money elsewhere than here? Go ahead, try it out, see what the market says. We know what the market has been saying about running backs, and so now the Colts are allowing Jonathan Taylor to seek permission for a trade. But as ESPN reports, the Colts are looking for the equivalent of a first-round draft pick, if not a first-round draft pick. I can tell you the Colts are not going to be getting that. I would be stunned, shocked, stupefied that any team in the NFL would trade a first-round pick for Jonathan Taylor, not because his talent doesn't demand it, but because if you were going to be trading for him, you certainly would be signing him to a contract extension, so you would not be giving up that draft capital and then paying that sort of money in guaranteed salary as well as what he'd eat up on the salary cap. So I don't know that this necessarily pushes the ball forward, whether Jonathan Taylor is playing or not playing for the Colts in 2023. But again, the saga continues.
Maybe our closest point of precedent is that McCaffrey deal from a year ago. It was a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth. One equivalent, I don't know if we can call it that, but a one would be something, to your point, for a running back. Perhaps this is just the fullest expression of posturing on both sides. We know it's a one or the equivalent for Indy. Do we know what the Taylor camp wants right now?
Well, the Taylor camp wants to be loved, respected. They certainly would want a contract that would show his value. I mean, we're talking about a former All-Pro, obviously dealt with injuries this past season, but the engine that made that Colts offense go in 2021 and frankly in 2022. Now, the leverage that Jonathan Taylor and his representation would obviously think is, hey, you got a young rookie quarterback who needs experience, who needs reps, and he would certainly need his star running back there. In fact, in talking with sources there, and Joe, I think you and I were even discussing how beneficial it would be for Anthony Richardson to have Jonathan Taylor there, especially with their RPO and what they do with the run-pass option at that mesh point. And without him there, you're really setting yourself behind a little bit. Of course, that's not Jonathan Taylor's issue. And look, this spilled out very publicly with the owner, Jim Irsay, tweeting about running back contracts and then sending a text message to another reporter saying there's no chance that we ever trade Jonathan Taylor. And that's paraphrased, of course. And look, the Colts may still not trade Jonathan Taylor because this could be the old, hey, we're going to trade you, just go out there and find a trade partner and bring us back a bounty full of draft picks that no one will ever give us anyway. Oh, well, now look at where you are. We have known about the running back market this summer. It's going to be very difficult if Jonathan Taylor wants top of the market money for him to go out there and get it. But would a team be willing to pay Jonathan Taylor somewhere close to what the franchise tag is per year, around $10 million for his services? I'd have to believe that that would be the case for the guy. And we see right there the numbers that he put up over the past couple of seasons. And so is anyone going to give up a first? Again, no, I do not believe so. An equivalent of a one, hard to imagine. But, Joe, you and I can start going down the list of teams that could potentially do that. You could look at a Chicago Bears who just looked at him up close and personal in joint practices. You could consider, of course, a Miami Dolphins team that flirted with Dalvin Cook. You could wonder if the LA Rams, taking on all that dead cap money over the past couple of years, but with a full bounty of draft picks, if they would be interested, if that's where they see their fortunes in a weaker NFC. The Denver Broncos may or may not be interested, but they don't have the draft capital ammunition after the Russell Wilson trade and the trade for Sean Payton and his services. So you start going down the list, and man, it's really hard to find the team that would give up a whole lot for Jonathan Taylor. You can figure out a team that would give up draft picks but maybe not pay him. You can figure out the teams that would pay him but maybe not give up the draft picks. To do both of those is difficult.
What is maybe the most stark representation of the market currently, biggest game check this season for a running back, will be for a man who has not played a down of NFL football. That's Bijan Robinson, and that sliding scale with the 8th overall pick. We'll see how it plays out, but the feelers are out. Jonathan Jones bringing us the latest with Jonathan Jones here and Jonathan Taylor, the most recent to request a trade. Here's a look at the Colts' upcoming schedule. Again, Jonathan Taylor requesting that trade, and the news breaking here on Monday that the Colts are fielding offers. What they would like is an equivalent to a 1 or a 1. Continue to come to CBS Sports HQ for all the latest breaking news here and elsewhere around the league.